The Minnesota Twins finished a pretty disappointing season a year removed from winning the division with the young core in place that looked to take control of the division. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and it's up to us today to turn this team around back into a postseason regular and a division frontrunner. This marks the 19th team of my Rebuilding October series, which is where I rebuild a new team every day across the month of October. So whether you're looking for your favorite team or just generally curious as to how every team will approach the offseason, I've got you covered. And with that, let's get the Minnesota Twins back in playoff contention. Before we can look at who the Twins should add in free agency, it's important to understand who the team is losing into the free agent pool. The first player never threw a pitch for the Twins, but it's Anthony Desclafani, who missed all of the 2024 season with injury. In his last healthy season, he still posted a near 5 ERA and isn't someone the Twins can afford to keep around and hope he bounces back. And another name the Twins can't wait around for is Manuel Margot, who is currently being faced with a $12-year $1 million mutual option. Margot doesn't offer enough compared to the other options on the roster and just simply doesn't have a role to return to in 2025. The next name will be a tough one for Minnesota fans to watch leave, but it's Max Kepler, who has spent his entire 10-year career in Minnesota, having some really impressive seasons in that time frame. However, with the influx of youth on this team, there are better internal players for the spot, and it's a matter of Kepler finding a new home for 2025. Kepler has some upside for a corner outfielder with offensive upside and solid defense, but it'll have to be for a different team in 2025. And it's a similar story for Kyle Farmer, who would not be retained for the 2025 squad, declining his mutual option of $6.3 million. With the inclusion of Brooks Lee on the roster, there's too much good positional depth to consider retaining Farmer, who doesn't offer a lot offensively. He's good enough defensively to stick around in the league, just not for the Twins in 2025. Losing Carlos Santana will leave a bigger void than some of the other players previously mentioned, not only on the production side, but as a veteran leader for the team. Santana posted a 749 OPS with 23 homers and 71 ribbies in 2024, and is someone the Twins should at least consider keeping around. But in the interest of continuing the youth movement in Minnesota, he will be removed from the 2025 roster in this instance. The Twins can find the way to match that production, and hopefully he can get that leadership from somewhere else on the organization of players. And finally, the team will lose Caleb Thielbar, who had a really poor season for the Twins in 2024, posting a 5.32 ERA over 47.1 innings pitched. Thielbar really struggled with walks in his age 37 season, and it's something that will cause him to have to find a new home elsewhere. Staying on the internal side of things, the team has three prospects who could have their respective impact on the Major League roster in 2025. The first of which is Emmanuel Rodriguez, who should reach the Major League roster later in the year. Rodriguez is ranked as the second best prospect in the organization and 29th best in all of baseball, and he gets those grades from his big time power and arm. Across 47 games in 2024, Rodriguez posted a 1,026 OPS with 9 homers and 27 RBIs. Is also willing to walk when it's given to him, making him an extremely dangerous bat to face. He's also shown the ability to stick in center with his plus speed, but as he ages, that arm will play just fine in right field. The next prospect that might not have the same upside as Rodriguez, but is intriguing in his own right, is Marco Rea. Rea has improved significantly since joining the Twins system. Not only has he improved on the pitches he has had in his arsenal already, but he's added pitches and gained control over all of them. He still hasn't gotten the overarching results and workload that would make him a top-notch prospect, but someone to definitely keep an eye on when he cracks the Major League roster later this season. And a final prospect to keep on the radar for 2025 is Andres Morris. Morris uses his unusual arm angle and velocity to create a wicked fastball slider combination, and with other pitches in development, he has been able to put up great results across his minor league tenure, posting a 2.37 ERA last season across 26 games played. His control has improved significantly since his start of the tenure with the Twins, and there is hope that the strikeouts will continue to rise as he gets a feel for his third and fourth pitches. With all of those prospects still at least a half a season away from the majors, it will be on the team to find the right combination of free agents to get the ball rolling in 2025. However, in looking at the roster, there isn't a lot of players that would be worth stepping on the toes of the prospects in their position. For this rebuild, there is a plan to have a platoon at first base, so it makes sense for the team to grab Wilmer Flores for the role of hitting the left-handed pitching. Flores really struggled in 2024 for the Giants, and hopefully the player the Twins get will not be like that. The Twins will be hoping for the player that was present from 2020 to 2023, where he posted a 785 OPS across 4 seasons. He isn't a flashy signing, but he would get the job done in his role. And it's a similar story for Lance Lynn, who will debut as the team's fifth starter. Lynn very quietly posted a decent 2024 with a 3.84 ERA, and at this point in his career, you wouldn't expect Lynn to be an ace or anything close to it. But he's a guy that will keep the game competitive and go out there every 5 days and do his job. He'll bring some stability to the back end of this rotation at a lower cost point. Again, not a sexy signing, but one that does the job for a reasonable price. Part of the issue will be fixing the bullpen for 2025, and that will include the signing of Kendall Graveman, who continues to be a really solid reliever into his mid 30s. Unfortunately for Graveman, is that he missed the entire 2024 season with a shoulder injury, but assuming he can come back from that healthy, it can work in favor for the Twins where he will be cheaper coming off a major surgery. And the final addition to the bullpen will be Yimi Garcia, who will be moved on from by the Mariners. Garcia posted a 3.46 ERA last season, split between Toronto and Seattle, but his struggles in Seattle will lead to him being a free agent. Over the past 3 seasons, he has been rock solid, posting a 3.58 ERA while striking out over 10.1 batters per 9 innings. Garcia will be solid and provide some stability to that Twins bullpen. And that's going to do it for the additions, which means the final roster will be Ryan Jeffers behind the dish, with Jose Miranda at first and Brooks Lee at second, with Carlos Correa at short and Royce Lewis at third. Trevor Larnack will be in left, with Byron Buxton in center and Matt Wallner in right, with Eduardo Julian at DH, who you hope can bounce back. Wilmer Flores will be the platoon option at first, with Christian Vasquez as the backup catcher, with both Austin Martin and Willie Castro as key guys to come off the bench, with a rotation headlined by Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan, with Bailey Ober and Woods Richardson filling out the middle of the rotation, with Lance Lynn bringing up the rear. Would this team be capable of competing in a surprisingly good American League Central? Absolutely. The biggest thing to have with this twin squad is patience, because there is so much young talent on this roster. It is all a matter of when they will break out and to fill those gaps with important free agents. This team is built to win both now and in the future, and it's important not to sacrifice that very important future.